Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrente a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre a la app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
Hello, 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 welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning, or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or into the deep, dark depths of the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now, remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. It helps with the show so much. Remember, you can respond to this week's question or comment on this week's episode by going to the description of the episode in Spotify and leaving a comment down below, and I will read aloud those comments on the next week's following episode. Or you can go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, where there's a new mega thread posted every single week, and you can post whatever you want. It's Reddit Asks Us podcast related in there. This is an ad-supported show, so we'll take an ad break after reading out the responses from the previous week, and then another one later into the episode after that, a little bit later. I will say, guys, today, this I'm sure you could see by the timestamp on the episode, this is a shortened episode. I just want to preface this that it is finals time for me and in my university semester, so I'm really hard at work at my school, and I am freaking exhausted because I spent oh my goodness, 8 hours, maybe more than that, writing today. So it's been a pretty exhausting day, not gonna lie. So it's hard for me to come at these with this, with this energy for that long amount of time, because honestly, I am a few seconds away from collapsing. So as soon as this podcast is over, you best believe that I'm gonna probably trans teleport myself into, see, I'm making up words now, I'm delirious, into another dimension of rock solid sleep after this. So we're gonna read out the responses from last week's episode. Then we're gonna, so we'll start off with the poll. So last week's poll, we also do a poll every week in case you aren't sure about the polls. We don't do polls as in Polish people. We're not doing anything with polls. No, we're reading out a poll, P-O-L-L. So it's important to make that distinction in case a poll happens to be listening and being like, "Whoa, what are you doing? I'm a poll. Are you targeting me? What are you doing with me? What are you doing to me?" Okay? No, we're not targeting my friends, the polls. We're reading out a poll. A would you rather. So would you rather be good at every instrument or good at every trade or handy skill? We had a 100% win for trade and handy, which is so interesting. I feel like that is a response to this, like my generation and the generation below me, and even the millennials to a certain extent, of our absolute pathetic lack of actual trade skills. Like, my grandpa, and even to an extent my dad, the Gen Xers, just kind of grew up knowing shit about cars. Like, my dad is not a mechanic. My grandpa's a mechanic, but my dad's not, which, whatever. But my dad also has, basic carpentry skills. He has basic knowledge of how engines work. And an engine to me is almost like putting a nuclear reactor in front of a peasant in the 1400s. I would probably end up killing myself sooner than I would actually understand how it works. I would probably die from inhaling carbon dioxide than I would have understood how to fix this particular small engine. So I am ridiculously screwed when it comes to actually any practical skills or knowledge of anything. Even basic carpentry stuff. The most I've ever done is my 8th grade wood shop class. I would probably lose all my limbs if I tried to build anything of if I tried to build a freaking bookshelf, I'd probably lose a couple limbs. So, excuse me. That's kind of a landslide win there. So last week's episode was, what mundane activity convinced you someone was a psychopath? So first one comes from Phil Savannah. Have you ever seen someone eat food and not have any expressions whatsoever? That's peak psychotic behavior. Also, people who cut their nails at work, please go away from me. Who wouldn't choose the trade unless you're one of the great musicians in the world? Yeah, I guess, fair enough. But I mean, you would become one of the great musicians if you knew how to play every instrument like super well. But that is so true. I feel like I've never necessarily noticed that before. But food, like, I eat food indulgently, okay? I eat food like it's the last meal I'll ever have. I honestly maybe don't have facial expressions because I'm spending too much time inhaling whatever I'm eating. So it is that's maybe, I maybe fall under that list of people that do that. But if we're talking about just people who just, you know, they're eating, it's like, how's your meal, dude? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's fire, man. I really like it. You really like it? This is a $400 Wagyu steak. Okay? The person who killed the cow that this came from had to sacrifice themselves. Okay? It was one of those Japanese samurai rituals. Okay? By law, they had to impale themselves in order for you to eat this. And you're just going to say it's all right? What do you want me to say, man? It's amazing. It's Wagyu steak. It's Wagyu, bro. It's good. Okay, man. You clearly are not understanding the gravity of the situation here. Okay, do you see the marbling? I've been watching way too many meat cooking videos on YouTube Shorts. It's actually so bad. I just keep scrolling for the next one. It's like, we are cooking 50 pounds of buffalo today. I'm like, why am I watching this? When am I ever going to eat buffalo? Okay, I'm from Saskatchewan, a place in Canada where it's known that there's like a buffalo and bison, or not buffalo, bison on the plains. I've maybe eaten bison once in my life. Okay, and I've been in fairly close proximity to these animals, and just maybe once. But nonetheless, I will watch endless amounts of YouTube videos. It's like some, it's like a guy in New York City eating a bison. I'm like, where did you get this? How did you even? It's not even close. I'm from Saskatchewan, where there's a shit ton of bison, and I've had it maybe once. And you're in New York City, like. Is this artificial bison? Are you creating this in a lab? Next one comes from A Special Little Cat. People say I look scary when I eat because I kind of space out. It's not that big of a deal. Wow. It's not that you're trying to downplay this, A Special Little Cat. Phil's talking to you, bro. A psychopathic thing is people who don't season their food. That's nasty as hell. I used to know someone who did that. It was like, bruh, really? You're not allowed to you're not allowed to eat chicken with sauce, and you're not allowed to call it sauce if it's ketchup. Okay, if you're dipping your chicken, you're just baked chicken breast in ketchup, that's not sauce, bro. You're not allowed to call that a sauce. That's not cuisine, right? And no, I will not have a bit of your unseasoned blob of white meat chicken. Get away from me. And Luke, I'm basically an adult. My parents are trusting me to go to another country, and I'm 15 and a half. So, like, basically an adult. But best believe I've heard all those words before. And if I've never showed up, you would have no other would you rather. Fair enough. I'm in favor of autonomy. I would just say, if you're telling me you're half age, you're too young. I don't think I've ever told anyone, yeah, I'm 23 and a half. No, that's if I'm telling you my half age, it's concerning. No, I'm just kidding. But 15 is good. You got to make your own autonomous decisions at this point. You're now getting into the point in your life where you need to start, deciding, is the Reddit Asks Us podcast stimulating my my intellectual curiosity? And if it's not, you might have to just leave me by the wayside, brother. The next one comes from Ghost. What's up, Luke? My bad about bad grammar It was meant to read, as I finally got a new job. My freedom is at my fingertips. There you go. My bad for bad grammar. I don't have a response for this one. But for the would you rather, I'd pick musical instrument because music is amazing. I can rap with a flow, and I'm already good at mechanics. I hope everyone's week is also good. This podcast, no one under like 13 should listen to, in my opinion, because it's just mature topics. Anyway, stay good. Go sleep. Peace out. Yeah, dude, that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, if I found out like 12 and 11-year-olds were listening to this podcast, bro, I don't know, man. I might be one of the worst role models anyone could ever ask for, okay? Like, this show is not meant for you to idolize the person who... I don't think that's a good thing for podcasting in general. You should not be idolizing the person who you listen to on the podcast. Like, you can listen to them for entertainment, but like, I'm not tuning into Shane Gillis's podcast to get his philosophical views on the world. You know, that's not, I'm listening for entertainment. You're allowed to be critical of the people you listen to for their podcast. I hope you guys are critical of me if I'm out here spouting some BS and then people are just coming to defend me just because I'm some podcaster. It's like, honestly, you should probably be more critical of podcasters. I think we should, I think my roommate always tells me, it's like, we should ban podcast microphones. No one's allowed to have a podcast microphone. Last one comes from the Dopic. Hey, Luke, I know I haven't been responding for a while, but now I'm back. Well, good to have you back. For the poll, I think being handy would be better because although knowing all the instruments would be nice, being handy is just so much better. You save money around the house, doing renovations, repairs for yourself, and there's a lot of money in the trades. That's true. That's very true. I feel like you would, and you could just like practical stuff is so much more diverse. Like musical things is yes, but it's all music at the end of the day, which is fine if that's like, what you want to do, but handy stuff, there's so much. There's mechanics, there's carpentry, there's mechanics, there's also carpentry, there's lumberjacking and carpentry and mechanics. Like, oh man, I don't know anything. As for the question, liking black coffee is so weird. That's my roommate, dude. I just straight up black coffee. There's a difference between drinking it because you know it's healthy or just for the caffeine boost, and drinking it because you like the taste. As always, have a great day, Luke. Well, thanks. This is another one, but you know what? I can't really refute this one too much because I'm a craft beer lover. So a lot of people who drink craft beer would be like, this tastes disgusting. It's like, why would you? Beer's already shitty. Why would you drink, extra shitty beer? But I would say that it's actually the other way around. It's extra good and it's an acquired taste. It's similar with coffee. I mean, if you're drinking Folgers black coffee, I mean, that's like being a connoisseur of a Bud Light. Like, you can't, those are mutually exclusive, bro. You cannot be a connoisseur of anything made by Labatt's. All right? That's not how it works. Those are not craft beers. But, yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, folks, I'm a beer snob, so I can kind of understand the point of coffee snobs, but also I don't drink coffee, so, coffee's a tough one for me. I don't know why it's easier for me to drink beer than it is for me to drink coffee. Like, for some reason, like, beer to me is kind of like this, it's almost like a dessert, whereas coffee for me is just like, why would I drink this? And it's so expensive, and you do it so much more often than you drink beer. Well, hopefully. So I feel like, whatever. Anyways, I'm ranting. I've been on for this for too long. We're going to take, sorry. The would you rather for today is, would you rather have the ability, the power to clean any area, anything, any part of your life by just snapping your finger in your vicinity, or you can have the ability to read any book just by touching it? So that's the would you rather for this week. And you can choose to interpret that question however you choose. We're going to take a short ad break, and then we'll be back with today's episode.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're going to love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends, to today's episode. So, of course, you can see from the episode title, what was your I can't believe I have to explain this to an adult moment? To be honest, there is how would I describe this? I give some leeway to some people from older generations, but one thing you learn about being in university is there is a clear difference about people who grew up with PowerPoint and the people who didn't. Your words, like, first of all, the background of your PowerPoint should not be a picture, okay? Because the words that you superimpose over that picture, I cannot read because it is so busy, and your formatting is completely off. There's words running off the presentation. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't even know how you got the presentation to do that. There's no titles for any of these slides. The profs are bouncing back and forth between different slides. That is not how a slideshow goes. Have you ever watched a presentation? Have you ever been in a presentation, a conference, ever? Like, there's a natural progression. I feel like this is common sense. Have you ever seen a YouTube video before? The YouTubers don't just go jumping around back from thing to thing. It's a natural progression. Have you ever written or read a storybook before? You're not just suddenly reading a paragraph and then all of a sudden it just jumps back to chapter 1. Whoa, let's pump the brakes here, folks. So having to explain PowerPoint to an adult sometimes is just like, it's like, oh, how do I get this to? No, it's just, I'm sorry, bro. You're a grown ass man. You should be able to figure this shit out. First one comes from According Lobster 72. The ungodly amount of times I have to tell people that no, those are not ticks on your cat's or dog's stomach. They are their nipples. Also, the number of men who reply, but he's a boy. Like my goodest dude, you have nipples. God damn, bro. Oh my God. Oh. Like having to, the logic there. Well, it's like, you know what, man? These are not, I never had nipples. I was never born with them. You know, I've gone my whole, it's like, what do you think? I'm a freaking girl? Don't tell me I have nipples, bro. I don't have any freaking nipples. Do you have freaking nipples, bro? Look at those freaking things perking up, dude. What are you, happy to see me or something, bro? Dude, get out of here with that, bro. I don't have no nipples, bro. I don't have no nipples. That's not. Don't try and put that on me, bro. Don't try to put that on me. That's not. I don't identify that way, okay? I don't have nipples, bro, and you can't be forcing identities onto me, dude. That's unfair, bro. You can't. That's not. I thought we were past that in society now. Now you're trying to label me. You're trying to reduce me to some sort of, thing that I'm not. Bro, you need to respect my autonomy. You need to respect my personal boundaries. If I say that I don't have nipples, you have to respect that. Okay? You gotta integrate that into your knowledge, bro. Because other than that, you're going to have a hard life, bro. You're going to have a hard life trying to go around telling people what to do, trying to tell people that they got nipples if they don't. What are you, dictator? What are you, freaking God? Gonna come up and try to tell me shit that I got going on in my life? It's like, no, not really. Yo, someone help. Something wrong with cat. What are these things? Those would be part of the natural bodily anatomy of an animal. Though those aren't ticks or fleas. They're not moving around, bro. They're in one space. They're in one spot. They are not moving. They've looked the exact same way since the cat was a kitten. It's like a little bit concerned for my cat. Has had these things its whole life, and I'm only now starting to realize they're not going away. Well, they probably shouldn't go away because they are a natural part of the body. So, you know what? It is kind of weird, though, that males have nipples. You ever think about that? Like, why do we have them? What's the point? What's the purpose? Like, what? I just got these little pepperonis on my chest? For what reason? Because, I don't know, dude. It seems a little sketch to me. Especially, it's like one of those vestiges, bro, that have no purpose, man. It's like my third ball, dude. I'm like, why do I have this third ball? Why does everyone have this third ball? Everyone has one, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know? You guys definitely know what dude. The third ball. Everyone's got one, dude. Why do we need it? That's weird, dude. So weird, bro. Damn. And it hurts really bad and it grows and it's like, oh, I'm starting to lose all my energy and my bones are getting brittle. It's like, you have cancer, my guy. You have testicular cancer and you've just been ignoring it because you've been saying it's your third ball. Yeah, bro. Sorry, man. That one's on you, dog. That's insane, though. Come on, bro. Knowing the basic... It's not even like this is like some animal you don't know. It's literally a cat, dude. Like, everywhere. Like, we learn about anatomy of dogs and cats. We've domesticated over them of like thousands of years. You'd think we're just now starting to understand. Oh my god. Next one comes from Famous Guy 11. I once bartended at a brewery and served 2 customers 2 pints of beer with different glass shapes. The one paying for the drink smirked at me and said, "We both ordered a pint." Sorry, I had to say that in a Scottish accent. I told him they were both pints, and then he said, "You expect me to believe that these are the same? They don't even look the same." It took me grabbing 2 different empty pint glasses, filling one with water, then pouring the water into the other glass for the guy to understand the basic concept of volume. You seriously expect me to believe that these things are 2 pints? They don't even have the same glass. You're right, they don't have the same glass. But just because they don't have the same glass doesn't mean they can't hold the same amount of liquid. That doesn't, like... Just because this one's shaped like a pear and this other one has got this round cylindrical shape doesn't mean, like, it's like this gives child who could never put the right shapes in the shape box. You know those little toy shape box where the kids have to fit the little toy shapes into the holes with the shapes on them? I feel like there's a name for this, but I'm just such an idiot that I don't. No, it's like, dude, we should get one of those shape box thingies. We should get him one of those holy, shapey, weirdy, boxy thingies. Maybe like good for his smarts, you know, good for his brain smallage, good for his brain smorlage. But it's giving guy who, if you handed him one of those, he would just look at it like, okay, so the star. What's the star? Stars 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, star. Okay, star. Think, what is a star? What is the shape of a star? Shape of the star. Fuck. Why did they make this so hard, bro? This is like rocket science, man. Shape of a star. What's the shape of a star? And he tries putting it in the square. It's like, oh, not quite. Not quite. Is that the shape of a star? That's a square. Fuck, shit. Damn it, that is a square. Fuck, I should have known that. Damn it, dude. I'm always mixing those two up, dude. It's always square and star for me. Can't get those, bro. Damn. I work so hard at this, and it's just, I can't fit the thing into the box, dude. It's just, why do they gotta make these so freaking hard? You telling me kids can do this? You're telling me kids can do this? This is bullshit, bro. This is bullshit, bro. This is some Einstein level 4D chess type of shit going on here, dude. Freaking shape of a star, dude. I don't even know.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Next one comes from Defective. My mom set up her phone to unlock using her fingerprint, except she scanned her index finger and then tried to unlock it with her thumb. It didn't work, and she couldn't understand why. See? This is them damn phone companies. It is them damn phone companies, and they are trying to lock you out of your phone. They're trying to lock you out because they want to take all your data, and you're just gonna put it all into your phone. Now they got my fingerprint. What are they gonna do with that? What are they gonna do with that? What is the government gonna do with my fingerprint? Now they got all access to all my informations, and now they just want to lock me out. All right, Apple, Tim Cook. You don't think I see what you're doing? You're trying to cook up some conspiracy theory so that you can steal all my information so I can't go on Facebook. You don't want me posting on Facebook, okay? I know you don't want me posting on Facebook because I know the truth. Well, joke's on you, Tim Cook of Apple CEO. I am going to post on Facebook using my desktop. Okay? I'm going to use my PC desktop computer. All right? I'm going to post all on Facebook about this. Apple's trying to lock you out of your own phones, accessing your own data. They want to keep it all to themselves. Well, look what's going on now, Apple. Look who's got the power now. It's like, no, Mom, you just did the fingerprint ID with your finger, but you need to do it with your thumb because it doesn't recognize your thumb because those are different fingers. They're not interchangeable. Each fingerprint on each of your fingers is unique. That's why you can't. They're not transferable. Oh, so now they want to tell me that I can't have multiple fingerprints? Now they're trying to tell me that I should have uniform fingerprints? They're trying to tell me this is the information they're trying to convey. All right, they're trying to tell me about my body, what I can and cannot do with my body. It's like no one's telling you that you can't do this with your body. I'm just telling you that your phone doesn't recognize your fingerprint because you signed it with your thumb. Jeez, bro. So I bet 2 adults that didn't know their fingerprints were different on each finger. Oh, man, that is so tough. I don't even know how you get through to a person like that. Next one comes from Poison Waffle 3. I used to teach GED classes to adult men, convicted felons in prison. I wanted to preface this by saying that I do not intend for the story to be condescending in any way, as we all come from different walks of life and have different abilities and talents. I was always very proud of any one of my students. Anyway, the story. In math geometry, we were doing a unit on surface area and volume of rectangular prisms. Okay. One of my students tended to do better with hands-on learning, so I had a bunch of wooden blocks and rulers for them so they could measure, then calculate. It turned out that very few of them could read a ruler aside from the inch and the half-inch marks. I picked up on this and changed gears pretty quickly, so I taught them all how to read rulers and tape measures that day. We had the same issue with every class/group throughout the day, which was fine. We did the surface area and volume project the next day. I ended up making rulers measurement part of my standard curriculum, even though it wasn't explicitly on the GED test. A pretty large percentage of my students were bound to join the trades, and it would be a very useful thing for them to know. I would hope so. I would hope that I can walk into my house and my roof is not uneven on one side. It's not sinking down. It's like, why is my roof slanted? Why is my ceiling slanted? This isn't the roof. There's no roof above me. There's just a floor. Why is the ceiling slanted? It's actually a new architectural installation that we're doing. It's focusing on an avant-garde interpretation of a multiplicitous reality in which we subvert expectations of traditional architectural norms. So, I couldn't read the ruler. But not to make fun of prisoners, bro. Because honestly, to me, this speaks more about why people end up in prison. It's almost like, hear me out on this one, folks. It's almost like the government is incentivizing people with low socioeconomic status and those who belong to marginalized communities to perpetually end up in jail because crime is their only option because they didn't have access to proper education. I wonder who and what entity would be responsible for such a thing. I wonder what entity would be incentivized in keeping marginalized and discriminated populations ignorant and uneducated. I wonder which establishment this would support. Bro, this is this textbook. This is so textbook of governments and white supremacist society just being like, people don't know they're oppressed if they cannot read a ruler. People will have no idea that they are oppressed if they can't read. This is how the church oppressed people in Europe for so long. People were like, hey, I read this. I actually read the Bible and it really doesn't say any of the shit that you told me it said. Off with his head. Off with his head. It's heresy. It's heresy. Off with his head. We must exile him. But before we do that, we must cut off his genitalia and freeze it and put it in a pickle jar. Like, this is just like repeatedly known throughout history. It's unbelievable that this kind of stuff still happens in the modern day. And it's like, we have it's oppression. It's modern day oppression. How seriously, how can you expect people to overcome their circumstances, or at least criticize how their circumstances got to be the way they are, if the powerful institutions in our society are basically facilitating their ignorance, and facilitating their uneducatedness. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. My brain is so fried, folks. But it's like, there is someone to blame here, okay? There's a lion's share of responsibility that needs to go around, okay? And I think we should start pointing in the other direction, okay? Not at the communities themselves. Next one comes from Needed Monster. Working at a computer store around 2014, rich lady shows up complaining that she's having issues with her Microsoft tablet. She explains that she's got no problem with it at home, but whenever she leaves, she doesn't have the internet anymore. At first, I assumed she had the version of the tablet with a SIM card and it wasn't set properly, but no, she had the standard version. She expected her home Wi-Fi to work everywhere. I tried for 15 minutes to explain to her how Wi-Fi works, but she would have none of it. She thought I was treating her like an idiot and asked to speak to my manager. 20 minutes later, I saw her still arguing with my manager. I'm sorry, ma'am, but your home Wi-Fi does not stretch beyond like 15 feet of your house, okay? Even within my house, the Wi-Fi is shitty. We had to get a Wi-Fi extender, and we don't even live in a big apartment. All right, I'm surprised your Wi-Fi stretches to your basement, miss. That's insane, dude. My grandma knows how Wi-Fi works, dude. My grandfather knows how Wi-Fi works, and he's like 84. He knows how he understands how Wi-Fi works. Okay, this is just embarrassing. How do you get through the digital age and the rise of the internet without understanding Wi-Fi? Like, it started with dial-up, bro. Did you dial up internet on a freaking payphone? Like, that's not how it works, dude. It's like, why don't I get internet here? I literally dialed my home internet number. It's like, you are in a desert, okay? You are stranded alone in the middle of a desert. You're getting a dial tone on that. Like, the phone's not even hooked up, dude. You couldn't even call somebody if you wanted to. Like, you just understand how phone lines work, bro. That is insane, having to describe that. There's no defense of that. It's like, well, I want a refund for Wi-Fi. I don't understand. I don't see what your goal is here. It's not a problem of the tablet itself. It works just fine. It says you need to access a free Wi-Fi network. It's like, luckily, thankfully for you, there is many places with free Wi-Fi. You know what's kind of surprising? Actually, this kind of makes me think. I was at a cafe today, and I've been there a couple times, and they don't have free Wi-Fi. But yet there's people on laptops like working and all this. I'm like, are you seriously using your data? Your cellular data to access the Wi-Fi? Dude, how are you a cafe and you don't have public internet? Like a free, even if it's a shitty Wi-Fi, it's like, this is where people go to do like tasks and to work and grab coffee and to do their work. Have you ever been in a Starbucks? I don't think I've ever been in a Starbucks without seeing at least 3 people on a laptop. Like, this, you are losing out on some serious business if you're not gonna. It's like, yeah, this is our internet cafe without the internet, so it's just a cafe with it's just a pretty run of the mill cafe, internet cafe, but it's just no internet. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's like implied almost in the name cafe that it has internet. Next one comes from Ken ZQB. I had to explain to a friend a friend of a friend that wind is not created by tree leaves rustling together vigorously. To do this task without showing the outright judgment on my face was near impossible. Dude, because explaining wind is a difficult thing, because wind is not like I don't know. It's not like explaining how grass grows or how trees, regrow their or like a plant grows or how trees regrow their leaves in the winter. It's not as straightforward as that, or like how the sun rises, It's not explaining that as straightforward. It's kind of just intuitive that people understand that wind is just a part of the way a part of our, it's like, I don't even understand fully how wind works. It's a part of our atmosphere and shit, right? I'm guessing. But I don't know, circles, and I don't know. It's part of wind and circles, but it's something that we just intuitively kind of know. I don't really think I could explain wind and how wind works to somebody. If you don't already have just a natural intuitive sense of, no, it's not just trees maniacally rubbing their leaves together as if they were rubbing their hands trying to rizz somebody up. It's like the windiest days, bro. That's when the trees are trying to pollinate, bro. That's when the trees are trying to spread their seed, dude. They got the hands rubbing together, kind of like, hey, like, yo, it's about to be a windy day. It's about to be a windy day. You know what I'm saying? Hey yo, you trying to pollinate today? You trying to get yourself freaking pollinated? Damn, dude. I'm about to plant my freaking seed, bro. I'm going to drop a couple seeds here today, bro. Damn, you better be ready. This fertile ground better be ready as hell for the wind today, because these seeds about to drop. These seeds about to drop, okay? That's why I'm rubbing my leaves together, making today. This is the windiest day of the year right here. This is going to be the windiest day of the year. Fuck. Oh, Triz. All right, folks. I'm going to cap it off here for today. Sorry for the shortened episode, but I'm freaking exhausted, guys. So, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I promise I'll be back next week with one of our regular scheduled programmed episodes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember to leave a rating and review onto this podcast. Join our subreddit, r/Reddit asks us. And respond to the question. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.